Hello, I'm Scott Buceno, editor of Telecoms.com, and I'm delighted to be speaking to Temba Sikampula, Senior Manager at MTN South Africa. So Temba, I understand MTN's participated in customer experience-driven process transformation, and that you've also initiated something called experience-driven digital transformation blueprint. Sorry, there's a lot of words there. Can you tell us how these will help MTN and what they have to offer your customers?
Scott, you're speaking to Temba. Great actually chatting to you guys. We have been, for the past, couple of years at MTN, around the 2016, 2017, we embarked on a journey. How do we improve ourselves? What do we need to actually, do to get to the number one? One of the strategies that we engage on was to look at, instead of looking at the KPIs now, your network performance KPI, was to look at the customer experience. The customer experience journey, began, with the customer experience tool that we embarked on deploying it in 2016 as a POC. 2017, this was actually augmented, with the fault management application that we also run on this. The journey went through to evolve with the supplement of our Oxygen strategic program that was actually looking at MTN as a digital organization. As we have been actually going through, we looked at how do we make sure that our network performance issues, as they happen, impacting our customers, how do we actually manage that? And how do we, as an organization, look into that? We felt that instead of looking at the KPIs, now we need to look at the key quality indicators, which our customer experience management program with the partnership of Huawei, we deployed that to make sure that we actually look at the individual customer experience. With, as I'm saying, with the actually, the help of the fault management, application. And that has actually, evolved right through the years for all the technologies that we have from 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G. And right across in terms of the power outages that we have in South Africa, we have the OTIN fault management application that gives us all these views in terms of the faults, and then the customer experience right on top gives us the view on how our customers are actually doing. And in so doing this, we were actually creating a sort of a journey now in terms of the blueprint, which is going to be actually implemented right across from our customer experience guys, call centers, feeding it right into our back end, departments, right into the resolution of the problem. This is how we actually started evolving this. I'm not taking anything away that we've also through the network done a lot of investments right through the years. This was investments across the network, building up capacity on the radio side, capacity on the core side, and capacity on the transmission side. And as I've indicated, on top of this, the layer that actually we also started to focus on, it was the layer on the tool side, which actually touches now on the customer experience instead of the normal network performance that we were actually doing. Now zooming into the experience, key quality indicators, this layer has been actually covered by numerous innovations and tools that we have actually deployed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And you may well have answered some of this already, but post-pandemic, South African culture's becoming, quote, always online. And therefore, customers have very high expectations of MTN in terms of high-speed internet, seamless coverage, stable connection, and so on. What initiatives does MTN have to meet those expectations? And how do you measure if an individual customer is getting good speed and experience?
Thanks, Scott, for that question. Great question indeed. As I've alluded, into this question in my previous answer, that The pandemic actually was a shock right through the world, and in South Africa, even worse. We were not actually ready as a country and organizations to pivot and work online, and this made a huge pressure in terms of the organizational strategy and moving quick on our feet, making sure that we are ready to onboard our normal consumer customers, enterprise customers, and everybody that now was becoming online. I've indicated that what we did initially was to actually put an investment on our RAN transmission and the core system. We had to build up this huge pipe in terms of the capacity that we were looking for. And on top of that, now we had to jack up all other innovative activities that we have in terms of the monitoring. You would actually even recall, even in terms of flying a plane, if I can use that analogy, you have a cockpit. If you have the plane flying, you cannot do anything without that cockpit. So we had to accelerate in terms of the cockpit. Our customer experience management solution, the fault management solution, became very critical and very pivotal, including also the other initiatives that we have. Customer experience was now actually the go-to application, looking at how the customers are doing, what are the key indicators that we need to be actually focusing. Your speed was actually paramount in terms of the uplink, downlink, your throughput that the guys were actually looking at. We're very fortunate to have a very deep dive or in-depth application where we can actually zoom in into the individual at a subscriber level details of monitoring the speed. With the application that we have, we onboarded most of our customers, calculating the customer experience index, taking us through right from voice up to data. So with the use of our customer experience tool, we were greatly fortunate to be able to be ready for the pandemic and be able to monitor the customers now at an individual experience as and when things are actually happening in the network. Thank you.
Great, thanks a lot. Well, I mean, all this stuff that you've detailed is obviously achieving something, because I gather MTN's been awarded Best Network in South Africa for a few years. Is there anything else you can tell us about your strategy that you think has contributed to earning that recognition?
I think, Scott, the fundamentals on our side, it's our people. Let me start by recognizing that as we were pivoting, actually trying and walking the journey of going right across to becoming number one, we had to make sure that we upskill our workforce, and I've alluded and touched on the investments that we have made, and the investments that we have made on the platforms that needed to make sure that we achieve the journey. The important things which we built the foundation was on the network itself, making sure in South Africa we have what we call, in terms of our energy efficiencies, load shedding. We started by actually at first rolling out those batteries in terms of the network, and again in terms of the tool that we were actually using, which is our customer experience. It actually gives us where our value added customers and in terms of the technologies, devices that they are using, and then it gave us that advantage to be able to focus on the areas where we needed capacity in terms of the improvement, and again where we have our value added, our valued or high valued customers. It gives us those views, making sure that we can actually put our focus, our resources in those areas. On top of that, we have also other campaigns that we do, which is actually drive test. And the nice thing is that the applications that we have, instead of actually having the vehicles doing the drive test, we can use our discovery platform which is an add-on on the customer experience, where it actually gives you all the radio-related information of our customers. We can actually now look at in terms of what are the areas in terms of the coverage, in terms of where we need to do smart planning, and this was actually afforded by the platforms that we have.
Great, thanks a lot. I'll just to finish off with, I'll just drill down a bit more in terms of some technology, because I understand MTN has initiated an NSOC transformation, which combines network operations and service process automation. Can you give us a bit more detail about that in terms of what NSOC is and what you plan to do differently that's not implemented elsewhere?
The traditional way of doing things, Scott, most people know you've got your network operations center, which is your NOC, where you've got people actually sitting and monitoring only on the KPIs. And the KPIs, they don't give you the true value of what the customer is actually experiencing. The KPIs might actually be averaging well, and you think that you are actually doing good. Things like your network availability, they look above 99% or around between 95 and 99%, and you are assuming you are actually doing good, forgetting that this is actually giving you at the average at a network level. But what happens at a customer experience, this is where we need to actually be focusing on. The journey that we started after deploying our customer experience was to look at ourselves. How do we actually now capacitate us in terms of focusing on the customer's experience? This is when we deployed the SOC, which is now a service operational center, no longer focusing only on the network operations center, focusing also, because this is a NOC to SOC transformation that we are doing, training our staff to be more focused now on the proactiveness in terms of the customer experience that we're doing. So again, in partnership with Huawei, that actually had helped us deploy our customer experience, we had the journey of now consultancy, learning from the best experiences in the mature markets. How do we actually transform from the NOC to SOC? And we deployed now focused teams in our SOC environment now, after converting from NOC to SOC. These guys, they are sitting there focusing and actually managing customers at an individual level, from the VVIP, VIP, up to all their customers, as we have all the alarms that are coming from the fault management, the likes of Octane, our umbrella fault management, and the CEM customer experience. The guys are actually watching that. As the alarms actually gets triggered, we can actually see the degradation before you, Scott, as our customer, can feel it. And the guys will initiate trouble tickets, log it into the back office, and the guys, they would actually look into that. So the journey has been transforming from the NOC to SOC, focusing more on the service layer and the customer experience using the top layer of our applications.
Okay, understood. And just to finish off, you referred a couple of times to your top vendor partner in doing all this. Perhaps you could just briefly tell us a little bit more about some of the solutions you use and how you make sure they're not only being used, but delivering value in terms of efficiency improvement and also generating revenues.
When we choose our partners, we choose partners that will really add value, and again, we're very fortunate in terms of the customer experience. we have a couple of solutions that we have on the table. I've alluded, we have the Huawei Smart Care, which is our customer experience application. We have the Octane, which is being used by our managed services in terms of the fault management and all the alarms that are being collected in the network. And what we have done a couple of integration. I'll explain this in two legs, Scott. When we began the journey of our customer experience, we were focusing on the network because we are the network team. And we had to pivot very quickly to be able to help also our business counterparts, because we saw the value that the application was actually giving us. Efficiencies, the platform is actually helping us in terms of the planning, in terms of the service assurance, monitoring all our customers, as I've alluded, in terms of the customer experience index that we're watching, the VIPs and all the KQIs that we are able to actually derive from the platform. And we've taken this right across. In terms of our customer center, we've integrated, all our call center agencies. They have access into the platform where they can actually log in and be able to help our customers with all the challenges they might need. I am not sure if you guys you also experience in your areas. We had challenges where people's they would complain that data is actually disappearing, forgetting that it is the settings of their smartphones or their smart mobiles that they were not actually correctly set. So our call center agents, they were able to actually log into the application and be able to advise our customers in terms of the right settings, right hand set, to make sure you don't actually have your data, if you are a prepaid customer, actually disappearing, even on the postpaid customers. Moving on now to the second leg on this, we've integrated this into our big data lake with our IT colleagues. We're pushing all the data into our big data lake, which is EVA in MTN South Africa. Now we've got all the business use cases hooked up into our data lake, where we actually pump the data into our campaign management. We are able to spot you, Scott, if you are actually moving closer into a mall with the wrong settings. We are able to actually fire campaigns to help you, or if we are in that region, we're running some campaigns. We are able to actually fire those messages into those customers that are in those regions, alerting them of what we are offering and what other services they can actually derive from us. This is through the real-time feeds that we are actually getting from our applications. Technically, we're running almost near real-time feeds from CM to EVA into our campaign management platform. And this has actually given us even the opportunity to upsell on some of the products, actually generating even more revenue in terms of what we're doing. So summary, network efficiency in terms of the service assurance, planning, and the network operations. Customer call center agency, they have access to the platform to be able to assist our customers. And again, we're using the data in terms of the campaign management and revenue generation.
Right. Well, that covers it really nicely. Thanks a lot. And we'll finish there. So it's great meeting you and great talking to you. Cheers.
Great chatting to you, Scott. Have a great day.